You know, actually, I have been to your great city many times, and what I never realized was we used to sing Purple Mountain Majesty, and I had no idea I thought that was made up until I got to Salt Lake City, and I drove into the mountains at sunset, and the mountains actually turned purple. So you are the inspiration for our national anthem. Pretty amazing. So I thought I would just tell you a little bit about my story, and then we'll answer some questions. I stand before you. I am a husband, a father of 3. We have Jed, Zoe, and Max. I have 2 dogs, a Labradoodle. Her name is Charlotte. She is an independent sleeper. If you dare touch her with any part of your body during the night, I have to remind her each and every day, it's my bed. My wife found a beautiful little Labrador, a tiny baby, in a parking structure, brought him home, and he promptly grew into a Great Dane. 120 pounds, he is not an independent sleeper. He has to sleep touching you, and by touching you, I mean he sleeps on you like a safety belt. You do not get up and pee unless this man lets you go. His name is Linus. I am an actor, a producer, a director. With my partner, I have written 24 novels for children. Woo! Thank you. And I am in the bottom 3% academically in America. Spelling was hard, English was hard, math was hard, history was hard. I was great at lunch. I was told that I would never achieve. I was told that I was lazy, that I was stupid, that I would never amount to much.
If it sounds good.
So one of the things that I've learned in my life is you have no idea how powerful you really are until you put one foot in front of the other, until you just try what is in your imagination. I've wanted to be an actor since I was 7. I don't know why, I don't know how it came into my body. I just knew that that's what I had to do. Everybody said to me, oh, my parents were very, 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 very short German people. My father, he bought and sold wood. He wanted me to buy and sell wood. I wanted to be an actor. He wanted me to buy and sell a table. I said, I want to be an actor. He said, I don't know how you can do this. Why do you think I bought some business over here from Germany? I said, besides being chased by the Nazis, Dad, was there a bigger reason than that? Because I'm open. I went to a McBurney School for Boys. I went to a private school in New York City. I wore a blue blazer, gray slacks, and a tie every day. And my headmaster said, Winkler, I want to know why you're not achieving. I said, hey, that makes 2 of us. But here's the thing, and I want to say this to all of the young people in this room. You have greatness inside you. And your job is to figure out what your gift is. You dig it out and you give it to the world as a gift. How you learn how how difficult it is to learn has nothing to do with how brilliant you are. Yeah. So I then applied to college. Usually you apply to 3 schools, your first choice, your second choice, and your safety, the one you know you can get into. I applied to 28 colleges. I got into 2, Park University in Missouri. I have never met anybody who actually went to Park University in Missouri. I think it is a doorway on a prairie. I also got into Emerson College in Boston, and that's where I went. I nearly flunked out my first year, but I managed to stay, and then I went to the Yale School of Drama. And the dean of students was standing where I am, and I was sitting where you are, and he said, "Look to your left, look to your right. One of you will not be here next September." I went home and packed. I was sure this man was talking directly to me. I was the king of negative thinking. I can't, I won't, I'll never get hired, she won't go out with me, I'll never get a job, I'll never get out of here. And I wanted to beat the system. So I found this Armenian philosopher. His name is Gurdjieff. And he writes with such complication because he does not want you to finish his book unless you understand what he's saying. So I didn't, because I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Then I found a disciple of his, Ouspensky, and this is what I learned. When you have a negative thought come into your mind, I can't, I won't, I'll never, you just say out loud, "I'm sorry, I've got no time for you now." If you finish a negative thought, it will grow into a thesis of negativity. You're marching to your dream. All of a sudden you have negative thoughts and you stop walking. Your shoulders drop, your head drops. Don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. Don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. If you don't complete the negative thought, you can move it out of your mind. You can let a positive in. Your shoulders fly up, your head flies back. You continue to your dream, and then you get to stand here and talk to you. It's unbelievable. Don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. So then I went to Hollywood. And I got this job, and I couldn't believe it. I only had 6 lines. I had hair down to my shoulders. I walked into Paramount Studios, and I walked into the room where all the actors were waiting to go in to meet the producer and the director. And I went, "Oh my goodness, every one of them has been on television, except for me. Everybody looked famous, even sitting down." And then me, "Hi, I'm Mary, how are you?" I walked into the director and the producer's room, and I had hair down to my shoulders and a gigantic sweat stain. And I thought, honesty is the best policy. I said, "This salt lake that is floating under my arm is in direct correlation to the fear that is running through my body." I had 6 lines. I used those 6 lines to make Pasquale, the guy who was reading with me, sit down. He did. I threw the script up in the air. I sauntered out of the room. And at the end of the month, when I had to go back to New York City, when I had no more money to stay in Hollywood, they called and they said, "Would you like to play this character?" I said, "Look, when he takes off his jacket at home, who does he have to be cool for? If you let me show the emotional side, it would be my pleasure." They said yes, I said yes, and I was off on my career. I was the person that they said would never achieve. And now, I'm doing pretty good. And then the show took off, and then the character took off, and I got a lot of fan mail. I got 50,000 letters a week. And it was so scary to leave my apartment in Hollywood because people wanted to take my socks without ever taking off my shoes. And so I read every bit of my fan mail. And I would get gifts. Girls would chew gum and take the wrappers and make them into daisy chains. And then the daisy chains would be these big balls. And the bigger the ball, the more they loved me. There are women all over this country with no teeth, because that was a lot of gum. Girls would take off their jewelry, little crucifixes and little bears, and send them to me in the mail. But I also got a metal cutting, and it said, "If you will it, it is not a dream. If you will it, it is not a dream." And I had no idea how important that phrase was to me before I even met it, but certainly now that I had it on my wall. If you will it. I know now that if you will it, it is not a dream, makes this country spin, makes the cosmos spin. If you know what you want, and you keep focus, and you keep your eye on the prize, and you don't put a period on the end of a negative thought, there is no reason why every human being in this room cannot meet their imagination. I was told that I would never be able to, and I've had a wonderful life. Then, happy days ended, and it got a little difficult. And there was a lull in my career. Who knew there would be a lull in your acting career? And somebody said to me, "Why don't you write books for children about your learning challenges?" When I was younger, I was called dummer Hund by my parents. If you don't speak German, that means dumb dog. Lovely people, very supportive. And I never thought that I could write a book because I thought I was stupid. If you joke with a child early enough and often enough, and you say, "Oh, don't be a moron. Oh, don't be silly. Don't be stupid," the child starts to believe, maybe that's who I am. Maybe that's who I am. I believed I was stupid until last Thursday. Then the man said to me again, "Why don't you write books for kids?" So I met Lynn Oliver. We started writing Hank Zipser, the world's greatest underachiever. They are the story of my life as a dyslexic, having a lot of trouble, and my teacher, Miss Adolph, is in the book. Miss Adolph, her breath was gray, her skin was gray, her knees were gray. I think she was related. She's in the book. And then we started writing Ghost Buddy. Ghost Buddy is about Billy Broccoli, who moves into a new house and finds a ghost, Hoover Porterhouse III, an irresponsible ghost in his closet. The ghost sounds like this. "Hey, you could call me a ghost, you could call me a phantom. Do not call me a banshee, because I think that is rude." Sounds like somebody else I used to know. But it's about bullying, they are comedies, about not judging a book by its cover. And then I wrote my first adult book, which is about fly fishing for trout, which is my favorite thing to do on the earth. Well, my second favorite thing to do on the earth. Yeah. You don't want me to lie, do you? You don't want me to tell you that fishing is my favorite thing. Well, it's a different kind of fishing, but... What a naughty mouth. Jeez. Anybody have a question? Yes. Hold it. What is your name? Jen? And what is your question?
My question is, in
in all of the roles that I've played, what is my favorite? I love my job. So every time I do a job, I always go, this is it. This is the best. This is my favorite. I don't have a favorite. You know, it's like my children. I love them all. I really do. I love, you know, I just did a movie called Here Comes the Boom. And, you know, it didn't do very well in the movies because people thought, oh, well, it's a Kevin James movie and I know what it is. But there's a better movie inside Here Comes the Boom than people expected, you know? I love Night Shift with Ron Howard's first movie. I loved playing the Fonz. I loved it. I love Children's Hospital. That's on Thursday nights. Of course, it's on 12 o'clock at night on the Cartoon Channel, so it's not easy to find. But that's a lot of fun. Royal Pains is a lot of fun. Having no pride at all, can I say that I have some of the pictures of each of these projects at my table.
I am Alex Watson. I wanted to, first off, thank you very much for being such a great guy. I got a picture with you yesterday, and you're such a great guy. You walked up and were talking to everybody, so thank you so much for being such a great guy. That was actually pertains to my question. You've been in the business for quite some time. How do you keep that up with being such a good guy to at least what I saw, everyone you meet?
Well, first of all, I don't think about it. All I think about is that I live by two words, tenacity and gratitude. Tenacity gets me where I want to go, and gratitude does not allow me to be angry along the way. So I'm very grateful to be alive. And second of all, my job as an actor or as a producer or as a director is really half a circle. The other half of the circle is you. Do you decide to be an audience? Do you decide to watch or pay or come to see what I'm doing? So I'm so grateful that you say yes. You know? Now get out of here.